And you see what I'm saying? So there's no need for me to do that. I have a little bit of understanding. Yeah. Is that clear about the wording?
Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know, it's just sometimes I just hurt. I just think behind people who are able to be creative like that. I mean, it's like, well, I feel like I should be like that.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be like that. Not if you don't have that true core talent. You know, do you think you have it, you just need to exercise it more? Or do you think, it's just not my jam? Be honest. Be honest with it.
I guess, probably not.
Okay, here's the deal. Go get some feedback from some other people who know that space. Somebody will be brutally honest with you. Because, either you got it or you don't. Okay, and I tried to use myself as an example. I just don't have what it takes to be a great musician. I just don't.
I mean, everyone will tell me that I'm much more technical guy and anyone just come up with ideas.
Great. So here's the deal. How do you like the idea of taking someone else's idea and technically making it stronger and better once you get your hands on it from the functionality standpoint?
I mean, I actually enjoy that a lot more when there's something there and I can actually
bingo. When someone says, I actually enjoy this more, Nick, you're preaching to yourself. You don't need me to say anything else. You got this. You have got to rest in who you are. And you just said it. I enjoy this more. So that is the clarifying statement that you were seeking from me. You gave it to yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, pick on myself. I love music. Love it. I have some core, basic musical talent. I would much rather listen to Harry Connick Jr. than try to be Harry Connick Jr. All right, Joe, let's get to some emails. Kim's electronic mail. You've got mail. Leslie writes in, my son has just graduated high school and is looking for his first job to pay for college. How would he do a resume with no previous work experience? Okay, I really appreciate this, and this is why I created the resume guide at KenColeman.com. It's absolutely free, Leslie. You need to download it, and we have flipped the resume. We've changed the way we've done it because we want hiring managers to kind of turn their head sideways and go, what is this? And the way we've set it up will really work for a young person who has limited work experience. I would push back and say that it's impossible to me to believe that he has no previous work experience. Has he volunteered before? Did he have an hourly job when he was 14? Did he work for your husband? Whatever it is. You got something he's done on some level. I don't care if it's volunteer or not. For a young person, parents, put down any volunteer work that they've done. Because that's relevant. What you're doing in this situation is painting a picture of the young person. And so use the Ken Coleman resume guide. Do it exactly the way that I tell you to do it, except for when you get some work experience, you're going to have all these jobs. What you're going to have is experience. What is relevant experience that an employer would want to know about for your child? Sports, clubs. We want to put that information in. All right, next Sean says, I have a resume question, 2 resume questions in Joe. When the experience I have that relates to the position I want isn't my most recent position, should I list it anyway? And to answer the question about the timeline, if and when it comes up, yes. We get this question a lot. I think it was yesterday's show, we had a question about a guy who had retired from the military, and he had a 6-year gap because he had a pension, so he didn't have to work, and so he was worried about the gap. And this is the same type of question that Sean is asking. Well, the most relevant position in my past work experience is not my most recent. Is that some sort of problem? The answer is no. I'm reading an article this morning that I'm going to share later in today's show, as a matter of fact, about what employers are doing. They are looking for people who just have the potential skill. Meaning they think you've got the rough talent, they'll train you on the job. This is because we have more jobs available than we have people who are unemployed. So, in this situation, Sean, list the relevant experience in the Ken Coleman resume guide at KenColeman.com. It's free. I actually talk about relevant experience. I would prefer you put relevant job experience on there, not most recent. Now, you can put the most recent if you feel like it to kind of show there's no work gap. But again, they don't care. They really don't. They don't care what the gap is or what's going on here and there. You just want to know, do you have some relevant experience? Okay, great. We've got relevant experience. Do you have the core talent? Can we train you? That's what they care about. So stick with the actual resume guide as we lay it out. For the rest of you who have not gotten it, you need to join the tens of thousands of people that have actually downloaded it. All right, coming up next, more of your calls and another article about this job environment. And it's all good news. Don't move. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Promote your business and increase your customers. Call us for sales and advertising. 624-3891. What if buying a house was like buying a timeshare? You show up with a herd of other people that also want the free gift, and then you're in a pressure cooker sales presentation for 90 minutes. You don't have the opportunity to have your real estate agent professionally negotiate the price. No inspector to uncover hidden problems. No loan officer to explain every detail of the loan terms, interest rate, fees, payment schedule, and total cost. Folks, you would never buy a home this way. That's exactly how the majority of timeshares are sold. That's just stupid. If you're stuck in a timeshare, call Timeshare Exit Team. They will fight for you. I trust them. You can trust them. Call for a free consultation. 844-999-EXIT or TimeShareExitTeam.com. Timeshare Exit Team is also growing in an effort to serve you better, and they're hiring nationwide. If you're looking for a career in consumer advocacy, and then check out the careers page at TimeshareExitTeam.com.
Read, and I can see, shoot, I can almost read that right there.
The meeting will please come to order. May we have the roll call?
Mayor Segrist.
Present.
Vice Mayor Harden.
Present.
Commissioner Martinez.
Here.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
And Commissioner Carlisle is absent. We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have the invocation?
Could we bow our heads as we pray this evening? Our gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we humbly and gratefully come before you this evening, recognizing that you are sovereign God, creator and sustainer of all, the giver of every good and perfect gift. We thank you for another day of life, the strength to take care of our responsibilities, and the opportunity to be here this evening. We also want to thank you for the leadership of Mayor Segrist and each of our commissioners. We ask your blessing upon them, guide and direct in the many decisions they will need to make. May a spirit of peace and harmony prevail. We pray these favors in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Pastor Ankle. The next item is approval of the agenda. We need to make some changes under consent agenda where it says Liberal Housing Authority. It should be Liberal Convention and Tourism Board, minutes July 18th, 2019. And we need to add under number 11, a number 12, which is CMS Electric Cooperative, Inc., electric service agreements. So can I have a motion to make those corrections?
We'll make a motion to amend the agenda to add item number 12 for the CMS Electric Cooperative, and also change the consent agenda to say Liberal Convention and Tourism Board appointment.
We have a motion by Commissioner Harden. Do I have a second?
I'll second
by Commissioner Martinez to change the agenda to read CMS Electric Cooperative number 12 and the consent agenda to read Liberal Convention and Tourism Board, July 18th, 2019. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. The next item is items for citizens. If you would like to talk to us, please limit your discussion to 5 minutes. Come to the front and, I'm sorry, we need to approve the minutes.
I was going to say, we'll move that to next.
Yeah. I'll backtrack. We need to approve the minutes for July 23rd, 2019.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 23rd, 2019 regular meeting.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harden, seconded by Commissioner Warren to approve the minutes for the July 23rd, 2019 regular meeting. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. I was so excited to see so many people. I wanted to get to the items from citizens to hear what you wanted to say. So please come and give us your name and limit where you live and limit your discussion to about 5 minutes. Welcome, Sandra.
Sandra Kuschel, 1831 North Kane. Good evening, Mayor,
Hello.
Commissioners,
Good evening.
and city staff. I'm here to commend you for a job well done at the Mid-America Air Museum. The handicap ramp with powder-coated handrails on each side is absolutely wonderful. It is now meeting the federal requirements for a tourist attraction. And also, the other entrance that had a very steep incline has nice steps now, so that everyone, even in inclement weather, can make it to the door. And the landscaping, absolutely beautiful. That's city staff, I know. And the sod and the sprinkler system, the water sprinkler system, it's just wonderful. But there's one thing that is noticeably missing. A flagpole that would fly our country's flag.
Brad's got an answer there for you there.
I didn't even know he was coming, and he didn't know I was coming.
So where the sidewalk goes through the middle that Bruce put in, we've got a place right there that we're going to put a flagpole so you don't have access to raise it, lower it every day. But we're going to leave it up because we're going to put a light on the building that shines on the flagpole. That's our intention.
You have just done my speech. That is so wonderful. While I'm here and haven't spent my 5 minutes, may I go ahead and read you a very partial list of businesses and institutions that do fly a flag in our city of Liberal. The Kansas Department of Transportation, the Girl Scout Cabin, the Liberal Airport, every school, Southwest Medical Center Hospital, the library at downtown, the VFW, many, many, many private homes, Conestoga Senior Citizen Center, American Legion, City Hall, Weatherford, Lewis Motor Company, Equity Bank, Police Department, and the Seward County Courthouse, Seward County Administration Building, Rock Island Depot, Days Inn, Chrysler Corner, Brookdale Care Center, Rawhide Oil, and the Liberal Country Club. That is a partial list. That was one little ride in the car with Larry driving and Sandra riding. Well, I don't know if I need to finish, but I will. I wouldn't be here without a suggestion to the solution of this problem. And maybe you already have the solution. I just don't know. All the schools that have been torn down, and Lincoln School on West 11th Street, hauled away, but not the flagpole. The flagpole is still there with a nice gold ball on the top.
I believe we're working with 480 on that, too.
You guys did my speech for me tonight.
480, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, 480 declined our request for that flagpole.
So now we're back to the drawing board, but it is on our agenda.
480 declined?
Yes.
You've been working business-wise with them. Why would they decline? That was my suggestion. And I like the idea of a flagpole because you can raise and lower it and honor deaths, and it's just the way. And in this day and age of people not respecting the flag, we must teach our children. And thank you very much for listening to half of my speech.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it. Who wants to? Hello. Hi, Chris.
Good evening, Chris.
Hi.
I'm Chris Musgrave. I just want to give a little update to y'all. I did get put into the formerly known as LSCDC a couple months ago, and just kind of want to give you an update. We do have a position filled for the director. We've got a checking account open and ready to go. And I would like at some point in time, if we could sit down and have some friendly conversation at some point in time. I know I've talked to a few of you already, but I'm still missing a couple people to talk to as well. I just want to let you know that things are going well, and we'd like to, talk to you at some point in time. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Somebody else?
Mayor, may I approach the podium?
Yes. Then you can be next, Don.
That's all right. You go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll give you that $5 later, Jim, if you got involved.
I apologize to you. My hindsight and my elderly age is not as good as it used to be as a kid. Madam Mayor, city commissioners, and staff, if I seem emotional, it's because I am. I want to thank you for your kindness and honoring me with the award of the Jim Garcia Day Award and serving my community. I'm truly humbled and I'm so grateful. You see, words can't express what I feel in my heart with this, and I'm not gloating because it's not about me. And I thank you for this. I'm thankful, I'm truly thankful that I can come before a city commission, and we know what some of the states of some parts of our country, not here, where prayer is not allowed, and then government entities and concerns. And I thank you for the privilege and to pray and to serve in my community, such as my city commissioners. And I thank you for the privilege to serve in my county with my county commissioners and to pray for my law enforcement and first responders. I have no idea what they go through when they don the badge. I served in the military. I know what a time is served in a foxhole and the training. But I have not the slightest what they go through. I'm grateful for the school board for accepting prayer, and I think of Southwest Medical Center and the privilege and to serve as a chaplain to pray for those in the hospital. This comes from you. I give thanks to my wife and my family for they're my backbone. I thank my pastor for her leadership and my church. I thank the Ministerial Alliance for the privilege to let me serve within my community in a spiritual way. I think of the American Legion, and as a veteran, I'm honored and I'm humbled to serve as chaplain for the American Legion and the veterans, and in serving and helping veterans in need. I think the thing that really weighs strongly upon my heart is the privilege to help and to serve with our funeral homes and honoring the last rites of our fallen comrades and brothers and veterans. I want to thank you. This day will be a lifelong moment in my heart. And yes, I'm emotional, and I want to apologize for that. I want to thank you once again for the privilege to serve in my home, my community, my God, and once again, every one of you, I'm at your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim. You are a blessing to our community. Welcome, Don.
Good evening, Don.
Good evening, Mayor Sechrist and commissioners and city staff. I should have gone ahead and taken the invitation to come ahead of him because that was awesome. I appreciate that, and God is good. First of all, I want to clear up a couple an item that I know I miscommunicated to several of the commissioners on a one-to-one basis. And I'm talking about the Economic Development Corporation and Council. And our bylaws stipulate that when a term expires, and you probably know everything I'm going to say here about got it memorized by heart, but anyway, our bylaws state that when a term expires, then that entity that appointed that person to the corporation has the privilege of reappointing somebody. However, if somebody resigns during the period of their term, then at that time, the entity that appointed him can make recommendations to the corporation, but the corporation's responsibility is to fill that position until the term expires. I did not communicate that correctly to some of you, and I apologize for that. I don't know if I made any sense out of that or not. Anyway, but that's the way my understanding of it is initially, and in light of that, I would like to encourage the commission to continue the dialogue for cooperation, getting back together in some form or some nature. May not happen, may happen, but I would like to encourage the dialogue for that to continue to happen. That's my speech on that. I wish Sandra hadn't left here already, because she did. She's talking about the flag. Because I want to just give you guys, Apogee, who used to be Dover, used to be something else, and on and on. But anyway, they're moving into 1610 West Pancake Boulevard, which I think you're going to deal with here in just a few minutes on your agenda. And anyway, they're moving into that. They're putting up a flagpole that's going to amass a 25-foot flag, and they're going to light it. It'll be up all night long. I just want to tell Sandra that, and Brad and everybody. So it's going to be awesome. People are really, really excited about flying the flag and honoring the flag. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Don.
Tell me where we can get a flagpole at, Don.
Pardon me?
I thought you was going to tell us somebody was going to donate us a flagpole.
Well, where do you need it?
At the Air Museum.
At the Air Museum?
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
You're a good man. You don't know if you don't beg, right?
Anyone else? Are there any groups who would like to approach the podium and talk to us? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. The next item is number 6, the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Harden to approve the consent agenda as corrected Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. The next item, number 7, is 2020 budget. With Chris Ford. And it's under number A, we have a public hearing. So I would like to open the meeting for a public hearing. It's now officially open. Have proper legal notices been given?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. I invite members of the staff to testify on the matter before the commission. So that's you, Chris Ford.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. You have before you tonight, in our public hearing for the 2020 budget, as you know that on back on July the, I believe it was the 11th or something like that, we had a work session with the commission to discuss the 2020 budget. So with the budget that was presented and the input from that work session, we've kind of melded those together into a finalized version of what staff would propose for the 2020 budget. This is a bare bones budget. There's really not anything, money's tight, so therefore, what we've done is we've proposed a total budget in the amount of $47,688,500 with a mill levy dollar amount of $285,134. And based upon our July 1st estimated valuation from the county, that would equate to 51.827 mills, which is again, I stress that that's an estimated number. What's going to happen is in November, the county is going to finalize the valuation. At that time, they'll determine how many mills it will take to generate $6,285,134. So therefore, that mill number quantity is subject to change. This mill levy limit is identical to what was assessed for 2019 for the number of mills. And the other thing with that, with a slight increase in valuation, this should generate an additional $63,616 if the estimated valuation holds true. I know we had a really good work session. Department heads were really great in making their request, making their requesting needs versus wants. Keeping it tight, staying very frugal. And I appreciate the commission and the opportunity we had to discuss the budget, your input, everything. I do feel confident that this budget would suffice for the city of Liberal for 2020.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Do the commissioners have any questions of Chris? Do members of the public have any questions about the budget? You're welcome to come up and state your case here. Okay. Hearing none. Since there are no further comments, I declare the public hearing closed. And we'll move on to Resolution B, item B, which is the resolution. Resolution 2310, adoption of the 2020 fiscal year budget.
Make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2310 for the adoption of the 2020 fiscal year budget.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Martinez to approve Resolution 2310, adoption of the 2020 fiscal year budget. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Chris.
Chris, thank you very much, and thank you to the rest of the financial team for getting all of this prepared and put together. I really appreciate your hard work.
Thank you very much. It
wasn't easy.
Okay, the next is item 8, resolution number 2311, a resolution of the governing body of the City of Liberal, Kansas, authorizing the sale and conveyance of certain property to Polo Fields LLC. Are you doing that for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, this resolution has to do with a prior taxable industrial revenue bond project that we had with Polo Fields LLC for the Halliburton property that's located on West Pancake. We did issue some taxable revenue bonds in the amount of $1.2 million, and we received confirmation from Equity Bank that the bonds have been paid off, and therefore, as a matter of formality, because of the way the industrial revenue bonds are structured, during the term of an IRB, the city actually on paper owns the property, and Polo Fields was leasing the property from us. So therefore, what staff would request tonight, Gilmore Bell did help us to draft this resolution, but essentially we would request commission consideration for this resolution, and I would state that Polo Fields has also requested this formality of the transfer, and essentially it's just to close up the taxable IRB project that we had.
So we just need to approve resolution number 2311? Is that what we need to do?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2311.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Harden, that we approve resolution number 2311. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
Item number 9 is Water Department Census Upgrade.
You and Jose would bring your show and tell up the podium. But you should have in here prices. Basically, this is just information. The previous commission had already approved the FlexNet. This is basically a software upgrade that's going to be strung out over 5 years so we can afford it. So this is basically an information to let you know what we are doing. This software does have a lot more capabilities than what our prior software does, and basically the old software is going to die away on us. Awesome. That kind of sum it up, Kyle?
Yes, well, software technology needs upgraded all the time. Your current system is reaching end of life. Doesn't mean it's going to crash and burn, just means it gets harder for them to fix. What the solution that Census is offering to you is to get the server out of your possession and host it so that it's kind of up in the cloud. That puts all the security and upgrades on their shoulders with that annual fee. And it also brings you to the most current software called Analytics, which operates some of the new meters that are, as you can tell, are very technology-based. There's no moving parts in these. For example, that meter is 20-year, 100% accuracy. If it fails at year 10, it's a full replacement with a brand new warranty. The accuracy of these is incredible. What it will measure is a 200th of a gallon at 100%. You could not put that in the bottom of a glass and pour it out over a minute's time physically, and it's measuring that low of a flow. This is what you currently have, which is a warrior of the meter industry. Great meter, been around forever. But it's mechanical inside, and so the parts wear out just like an engine. Over time, it loses accuracy, which means that you're losing the sale of some water and the accountability of what you pump versus what is metered out into the system.
Yeah, and by the time, it's not necessarily always in years, it's by number of gallons. We have one meter we have to replace, about once a year? Because of the location and the number of gallons that go through, which we're going to switch to this meter, which has no moving parts. And guess what? If we move 10 million gallons through the year and it wears out, he's got to replace it. Where basically that meter has, what's a warranty on that, Kyle?
We'll call it 10 years. It has a mileage.
Yeah, but it's not 100% replacement.
Correct.
It's a prorated.
You can rebuild it. If you rebuild it, it's like rebuilding a motor. It's not as good as the day it was born. The accuracy decreases. With those particular meters, this one that iPearl, you have some of those in the system right now. The lifespan of those is guaranteed for that 20 years. The other one in his hand is, just to give you an idea how the technology is moving forward at a rapid pace, is called the Ally. It has the same technology, same accuracy as the iPearl meter. In addition to, it can be remotely, with your system with this upgrade, can be remotely shut off from City Hall. It could be turned to reduce flow so that somebody could get just a cup of water, refill the stool every so often, but you couldn't water grass, you couldn't do lots of laundry. In other words, it's kind of a tactic to please come pay your bill before we shut it off completely. Anyway, it has shut-off capabilities. It also has, in addition to that, which a lot of people are finding extremely wanted or desired, is it has a pressure sensors and temperature monitors. Temperature monitor is obviously, it's an expensive system. It's trying to send a warning to the operators that, hey, I've hit 35 degrees, you want to look out after me now. In other words, get some insulation on me. The other thing it has is you could use this if you had enough placed out there. There's additional software programs you can put in that will somewhat accurately tell you where your problems are in your city mains, why your pressure loss is here, there, and all over the place. It data logs that. You can draw it off with a computer, or it will also be stored within this new software package to look at and see your trends on your pressure throughout your city, why this area is dropping and this one isn't. There's a lot of advantages to that, and it's just built into the meter. It also has an alarm system. If you were to have a main break out there, it's going to start sending him an alarm that says, I just went below 40 pounds or below 35 pounds, danger. We need to get a truck rolling somewhere.
Now, and one of the reasons and I apologize, we did not do Deer's Good at Show and Tell as Bob with the mystery case and the white gloves he did with his space helmet, but we are actually getting ready to go into year 8 on these meters, and instead of doing like they did before, doing 100% meters, we're looking at, let's start a little bit early and let's do like 25% this year, 25% next year. And what we would be looking at, this is a higher dollar meter right here. And it's like $500 something and change, right?
A little less. But the thing is you wouldn't put that one everywhere.
Yeah, we wouldn't put it everywhere. We would, number one, we're always turning Lynn's water off for non-pay, so we would put that there. And that way, we don't have to waste labor to go out to turn it off, and he goes, pays his bill, and we turn it on. This way they can do that right there. The customer building, water off, non-pay. Come back in, okay, you need to run home because it's going on. And then we could put it in, like you said, in certain locations in the city so we could have the pressure readings and the alarms and stuff. The other thing is this one here, prototyping right now to put the pressure sensor and the temperature sensor in these. And they would still have a full 20-year warranty still, correct?
Yes.
With the sensors in them. The reason this one's a little less is because that shut-off in there, it periodically exercises. So in order to do that, it cuts down the battery life. But we're kind of doing a little bit of show and tell. I mean, obviously, you're not going to get near the mileage out of that. And the thing is that you get sand or dirt in it, guess what? The wheel quits turning, or you get a little bit, it slows down, and we're losing revenue on slower meters. You can look at these as straight through, both of them. So we just kind of, what we had in here for the software, if there was any questions, we're just gonna do a little show and tell. But I'm thinking if we start in year 8, we get 50% done at the 10-year mark, and then we're a little bit over, year 11 and 12, we finish the other 50%. But that way we're not taking that big hit all in one year. Because the last time was in excess of $3 million to replace all the meters? Sound about right? I believe so. So it's a fair chunk of change, even to do it 25% at a time, but we're not having to go out and do a loan to do it. We can work out the revenue fund and do 25% a year.
The main question that I would have from looking through the proposal is, why is there such a steep increase in the analytics fee year over year? So in the RNISAS annual fee and then the analytics fee, that steadily increases to where within 3 years it doubles. So what is that increase? What does that cover? Is that the integration of more and more and more water gauges? And then also, where does that cap off at?
Okay, somewhat easy to explain. If I was bringing this proposal to you as a new project today, your first year would have been that 5th year, that highest value. What Census did was they put together a special proposal for us for Liberal and some other towns that, what would you call it, their legacy systems that had been out there a while, and they took your current support value, which will go away because it's being replaced by this. They took your current and they made that year number 1. And then to get to where it should have been, then they rapidly escalated. After that would be fulfilled, they have a standard 3% increase.
Annual increase? Okay.
Yeah. So if you were to look at some of the little a la carte things that you're not necessarily interested in right now, what was one of them? Customer portal. If you look at that, you'll see that annual fee just takes tiny little increases. That's because it's new to you. You don't have it. So in a nutshell, what happened is Census has given you a special deal to start your year 1. Other than the installation and the setup, they're setting your year 1 basically at your current support price.
Gotcha.
So down the road, we may look at that customer portal, but for guys like my age and up, we don't care. We're not going in there. We're not going to look to see that we're using 10 gallons every hour. We're not going to go in there and monitor our water. For an IT guru like you, hey, you'd probably be all over it. But I can't justify the cost right now for no more use than it would have. So we're looking at just a software upgrade. And the other thing is, if I understood Kyle right, with this software upgrade, we would be able to do, and spin it out so that it would predict which meters we need to replace. So we might be looking at, we got 7,000 meters, but we may run it and the analytics show that, hey, you only need to replace 5,000 of them because the others are holding on. Because it'll have an algorithm that'll actually be able to say, no, based on, it's still registering the same today as it did 5 years ago. So it'll be, even though we're spending money over the long run, if we learn how to operate this system correct, we should be able to save money on maintenance.
How many, if you guys had to guesstimate, how many total water meters do we have in town?
I just told you.
7,000.
That wasn't a guess. That was pretty
exact.
much dead on, wasn't
Okay.
it, Chris? What you're, if you're looking at that quote, if you look in year 1 and run right down, which I think you did, to the SaaS annual fee and the analytics annual fee, and look at those two together, your current support, I want to say, is right around 8. And if you were to buy the system today, it would have started at that year 5 price.
Gotcha.
So Census did that for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one of those deals. They're kind of giving us a choice. It's just a matter of let's do it now before it fails.
Yeah, and they're trying to be very nice about it, but it does all come with a cost, and they really stepped forward, I believe, because I've seen new pricing, and they stepped up to the plate to help you guys.
So how the two types we got going to work together, are you going to do sections of town in blocks?
It won't matter with the software. And
they'll still work with our other stuff while you're doing this?
The MXU and the radio reads, that part really doesn't change.
Okay.
Yes, current. You won't have to replace any of that. There's another advantage comes with this, and the technology moving forward is the fact that some of the things that the guys do in the field now, if they have to update some firmware, things like that, IT stuff in those radios, Census will now be able to do it over the air, where they can almost look up the list for them, or if they find a list, and let's say they said, okay, we want these 100 addresses with this Ally meter. That Ally meter takes the latest technology. They can give them the radio numbers, and Census can do it over the air. They can upgrade all that over the air. So there's a lot of advantages that Census can take care of then at that point too.
So is the total out of pocket to get this going, the year one fees plus the extended base station totals?
Yes.
We don't even worry about it. It's already in the operating budget for the water department.
Okay.
And this is a drop in the bucket. If I lose a well tomorrow, I'm going to have to pull it. This is pocket change.
Yeah.
So this is really informational.
Yeah, this was informational. Yeah, as part of the operations, the FlexNet system was approved, and just more or less to let you guys know, hey, if you see when you look at your vouchers, this way you're aware that, hey, these fees are coming and why, but it's operational expense.
Fantastic.
Just trying to be
Thank you for
transparent.
Thank you very much.
Show and tell.
Yeah, appreciate the presentation.
Appreciate seeing that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
But you can see a lot of difference in these two versus that one. And the other thing is, no lead. There's no lead. Those have a tendency to stand up in the cold better. If you look at the 4 bolts on the bottom there,
Just breaks off when it's
that breaks. If it freezes, it just blows up.
Yep.
And the plastic has a tendency to expand a little better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much.
The next item is number 10, public grounds equipment purchase. Brad?
We want show and tell, buddy.
Got Bruce.
Okay.
Good evening, Brad.
Welcome, Brad.
Give us some
Mayor, Commissioners, but before we get on this, I want to hit on a couple things. The flagpole deal with 480 did give us a flagpole. We used it at the baseball field. This was way before. So they did give us one of their flagpoles. And we thought we'd try to get the other one, and they rejected us. They said they have another use for it, so which is fine. But a year from now, if it's still sitting there, I'm not going to be very happy. We're getting ready to do our fall tree program, and Bruce has been with the grower, and I told Bruce, because we have a certain amount budgeted, don't mean we have to get it. If you don't like what they have to offer, they've had a lot of floods down there where they're growing them. So our variety might be kind of slim this year, which is fine. I'd rather wait and get the better trees than, I don't want him to feel like, because we got it budgeted, because that's 1 cent sales tax that'll carry. We can use it next year if we need to. So if you hear some things on the trees, he's working really hard at going through and getting some good varieties, and there's just not a whole lot out there this year because of the floods. Yeah, I mean, this flood deal may take a couple of years we may have to look at a different grower and see what we can do. And you can thank him. He did all the landscaping at the Air Museum, and help me out here. Jan.
Farrar.
Bruce and Jan designed the thing.
Oh, that's terrific.
And she's done the pots and everything up front, and I think Bruce and the guys put a new sprinkler system in there last fall. I think it looks really good.
Oh, it came out great. That training session we had for Comacor, I saw several people utilize it, and it seemed like it worked out quite well.
And we've had intentions from day one to do a flagpole. Because the way we did everything, I mean, it's there. We just got to get the pole. and hang it. So now I'm gonna need to spend some money. In your packet, we're requesting to buy a turf renovator. I know when you say turf renovator, you're thinking ball fields. This thing is going to be used at the cemetery. We're going to use it in the parks, and it's going to be vital in keeping our soccer fields like we need to keep them, especially the new ones where we can adjust the goals. They stay in one spot, so we're going to have to work the goal areas. And when Bruce wanted to, the guy come out to demo this, I thought, yeah, I'm going to go look. It's another piece of equipment. I've seen everything, and I was really amazed at what this thing can do. And our parks, it's going to change our water, our drainage, our nutrients getting to the soils. It's going to make a big difference. We can power rake our parks. We've never done that before. Get all that thatch up so our water's actually getting to the grass.
So is it a pull behind?
I was going to say, is it a PTO driven pull behind?
Yeah. And he's got a tractor at the shop, so when the guy demoed it, we used our tractor. And it's just, I'm telling you, it's a really slick piece of equipment. And I think the way soccer's going and the way they beat the tar out of North Bluebonnet and Lee Park, we're going to have to start doing some of these things. Those things are harder than concrete. We got to break them up, and it's no different than artificial turf getting packed together. We got to get it in a serious irrigation program, and it all comes down to safety of the players too. And we're proposing to take this out of the soccer complex budget.
I'll make a motion to purchase the 2019 PTO 60 sports renovation machine for $12,995 from Quality Turf Renovation Company to come out of the soccer complex budget.
We have a motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Martinez, to purchase the 2019 PTO 60 sports renovation machine for $12,995 from Quality Turf Renovation Company to come out of the soccer complex budget. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brad.
Thank you, Brad. The next item is new construction update with Darla Harper.
Good evening, Darla.
Darla.
Mine's simple.
I wish that was also every person's greeting as they came up here.
I did have the pictures that I passed out. Basically, they should be in order of what I presented in the memo. So it should be the city treatment plant, which, as you can see, these were taken the 31st, so they're a little bit older. And basically, we just have holes there.
It's got to start somewhere.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
On the next one, on the Holiday Inn Express, they're actually looking to get a temporary certificate of occupancy. There's a few more things they need to do before they qualify for that, but even from these pictures that were taken on the 31st, they've gotten quite a lot more done. I'm guessing maybe by the next update they'll possibly be open, depending on circumstances beyond my control. But I did take a picture of, let me see which. Third from the back, I guess that would be like page 5. That's actually one of their handicapped rooms. And I tried to show the contrast between that and the regular rooms. Because there's so much more room in those. They have this nice big opening whenever you come in. The bathroom is bigger. Just the room itself. There's plenty of space between the bed and where they have their dressers and stuff to accommodate people that have a wheelchair. It's bigger than any that I've ever seen before. Not necessarily in Liberal, but just in my experience. Next one I do have is the National Beef, and again, it's just one sheet with 4 pictures because they just have a couple holes and they're still working on that one.
One question I have on the treatment plants is the access been fine for all the companies moving in and out of there all the time?
Let's put it this way, I'm thinking no news is good news.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yep.
The Colvin Learning Center from the college. That one, they've made quite a lot of updates even since these were taken. They're not quite ready for a final, but a few of the trades have been ready, but we usually do that all at once instead of just going out and doing one at a time. But they have quite a bit from these pictures that they still needed to do because they didn't have like any of the walls finished or anything like that. But that's possible that the next time I come, it'll be close to being ready to be utilized.
Are they going to use it to be ready for the school year, or is it probably?
That, I don't know that they'll be ready for the school year.
Second semester probably.
Yeah. And the next one, just in a week's time, that's where the sports complex is going. They went from forms to actually having the beams and stuff up. So, I mean, and they're moving fast. I haven't been out there since I took these pictures, but they're moving pretty quick. I mean, they've got everything, all the sidewalk and everything was poured around the outside. So I think it's going to be a really nice sports complex. It was kind of funny because the first time I went out and took pictures, didn't have a hard hat, didn't need one. Second time, I had a hard hat, I needed it. Just like with Southern Pioneer, which is the next set of photos. Yes, I did wear my hard hat. I was being very safety conscious. Erica Villa actually went with me when we took all of these pictures. So, and they've made tremendous progress on this too. I mean, you look at it and let's see, page 1, 2. Okay, page 3 of pictures for the Southern Pioneer. You'll see one that it has like a spotlight on it, and that's their safe room. That the entire room is made of concrete. The ceiling, the walls, everything. That's also what this shows the side and the top, I mean, the whole thing. That's their safe room for whenever there's any storms so they can get in there. I thought that was kind of impressive. And the next page, that's actually the front reception. They're moving the door from where it was on the end towards like the middle of where that office space was. And then they're putting different places up. So it's more private instead of everyone sharing the same window space.
Absolutely.
Where's the picture of their new road?
Well, that part I didn't get.
That's the part we built.
I know. But that would be an update that the city would need to give for the city project, not the Southern Pioneer. Don't shove stuff off on me, Cal.
I'll remember that when I go to sign your paper. I thought you were city. No, it's.
The last one is the Express Wellness Center. They just got their final today.
Terrific.
So these pictures, I mean, don't even show, because it still has stuff in there, and they, again, were just, a little bit ago. But they got everything done, everything's complete. On that first page, I just went up there just to see if they had most everything. Of course, nobody was there, so I didn't get in, but I took a picture through the window because they said they changed the paint color because they didn't like the first one. I'm not going to say whether or not I like the second one either, but I was just trying to show the difference. they did finally get all of their signs and all of their landscaping and everything taken care of. So it's just a matter of time of them getting their staff and getting everything else that they need to in order to get open. But they did get their certificate of occupancy today.
Well, that's a much needed thing in the
Has the
community.
brightness of the sign been checked?
No, ma'am, we haven't checked it yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for the
welcome.
update.
I will see you next time around.
Please come back.
Yep, we'll look forward to
I
it.
got a
More than
question.
welcome.
Yes, sir.
Any update on Casey's? We get a lot of
The
questions
only
about
update that I have is the alley still needs to be vacated before they're even allowed to build what they plan to build. And that's scheduled to go to the
So we still
Planning
need to do
Commission tomorrow.
something. Okay.
Not tomorrow, Thursday.
All right, thank you.
And then that will come through.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
But we don't have any plans or anything yet, so.
All right.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Let's see, the next item is number 12, the item we added, CMS Electric Cooperative, Inc., electric service agreement.
This is one I'm bringing to you, and I'm gonna guess I'll probably be bringing several to you, because I don't know why this wasn't included in the tower project. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna nickel dime a lot of stuff on this tower. I know Lynn has a question, but my problem is it's got an estimated amount with a not to exceed number. I have, myself personally, I have problems signing anything with no not to exceed number. I mean, of course, that's your decision. I'm thinking that they can give us an estimated amount with a not to exceed. And I've talked to Chris, and our thought is we're not going to split our half over 5 years. We're just going to, if it's 18,000, here's your 9,000, let's go and be done with it.
Well, the difficulty with that is the current operating budget for communications is a 60% city, 40% county. And when it was agreed that we were going to construct the tower, it was decided that we were going to do a 50-50 split on the tower itself. And, excuse me, granted, the electricity, that's going to be a 60-40 item, but the 18,000 estimated amount, it should really be a 50-50 split. And if we're going to take that forward over 5 years, that's going to be really interesting in trying to figure that split out.
Well, and I mean, I want to see a to the penny number. I mean, no estimation at all. They should be able to give us a
Or
to
a
the
not
penny
to
number.
exceed number.
Yeah, and then on top of that, with an amount that is that low, I would much rather see, once we receive that number, it be taken care of immediately. And we need to communicate with the county on how that's going to be split, because every part of that tower project should be split the exact way that we split the tower.
Well, I have a problem with it because why can't they give us a bid? This is just an estimate. Why can't they give us a real number? We haven't had real numbers on any of this. And it doesn't mention in the contract 50-50 split, anything about that. And I just don't like the way this is written. I think our attorney can do a better job for us.
No pressure at all.
I'd say on it, I think both entities need to be on hook for it. Both entities need to sign it instead of just the city of Liberal. I don't see why that's an issue. It shouldn't be, because the agreement is we're both paying it 50-50, and it shouldn't be very difficult to add that language in there regarding the 50-50 split, have both entities sign off on it. And also, instead of the $18,350.98, which is the estimate, just say the amount will not exceed that dollar amount. And then we each are to pay, upon completion of the project, or whatever the agreement is, to pay that our respective share of 50%, and then we're done. So I don't think Cal had any intention of signing this earlier, but he wanted to get the temperature of the commission on it. He got my temperature on earlier because I called him and spoke to him about it.
And as you can see, it's not signed.
Now, is this something that the commission would actually need to make a motion to table, or since the dollar amount's low enough, is this actually something the city manager doesn't require commission?
Actually, it's high enough, it's over the 5,000.
Okay, I didn't know on the split on that. I'm going to make a motion to table the CMS service agreement until we have the wording upgraded and we have a for-sure set of numbers and have communicated with the county.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Martinez to table CMS Electric Cooperative Agreement until we have actual numbers. And what else did you say?
Oh, yeah, I would say, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we could probably end it right there. We'll just table the CMS service agreement.
Okay.
Unless Dennis has some input, he sat there real quiet, but did you even know about this? No, I didn't. And he's on the board.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Okay. The next is city manager's report.
Well, I want to thank the staff. Has been doing a great job. And I know some of you are getting frustrated because we've been trying to clean out Can Creek since we're back in November. And every time we get ready to do a lot of these projects, especially on drainage, it rains. Well, guess what? Drainage is muddy, so then we have to wait till it dry out. So I know you guys are getting frustrated, but I appreciate the job, and we are doing a lot better with drainage. We are getting people telling us, hey, I'm not flooding anymore. So I do appreciate the work you're doing. That's it.
Do you have anything?
Do not.
Okay. Well, I want to thank all the employees of the City of Liberal who attended the COMA training, which is Kansas Open Meetings Act meeting that we had this Friday. I think it was a good learning experience for everybody, and I appreciate your taking time to attend that. And I'll give you a little update on Jim Garcia. Sunday, I read a proclamation naming August 11th, that Sunday, Jim Garcia Day. And so he was referencing that, and the whereases all spoke of his wonderful service that he's done for the city. So congratulate him on having a day named after him. I'm sorry he's gone. And I appreciate all the hard work everybody's doing to mow and keep the city looking beautiful. And I know the code enforcement men are doing some line in sight at the corners and correcting some deficiencies there so people can see better around the corners. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you to everybody that came to tonight's meeting. Always like seeing a packed house, and appreciate everybody that took the time to present the items from citizens. I want to extend out once again a huge thank you for all the hard work on the budget, and a thank you to all the commissioners. We knocked that girl out in one day. That was pretty impressive in my mind because there was a lot to go through, but I loved all the dialogue and discussion amongst the commissioners and city staff. Highly encourage the public. Those are open meetings, so next year, come budget time, if you're interested in how the city's allocating its funds, make sure and come to those so you can be well informed. Also, the Coma Cora training, awesome to have so many people from outside the community and inside the community take advantage of those. I'm going to be pursuing trying to teach some courses with the League of Municipalities to get Liberal better represented when we're at the annual conference and some of the other training events that they put on, so hopefully we'll see something come out of that. On top of that, got to present at the Meade City Commission last night, and that was a very awesome experience. It's interesting being the person on the other side of the table. So to everybody that ever comes to the meetings to present to us, greatly appreciate the time and effort that you put in. Definitely don't be intimidated by the people that sit behind here, but I can see now from the other end how it can be somewhat daunting. To everybody, thank you for paying attention, staying involved, and continue coming to the meetings.
I'll just briefly say I want to thank staff and the other commissioners too for the budget. Chris, I guess, and his staff especially for getting that put together so easily to go over. Anyway, from my past experience, I think of doing it. I don't know how many times, more than one hand, but I think it was about the best experience I've had doing it, and we still was able to actually be thorough in a shorter amount of time. So I appreciate everything the staff did to get that ready for us, and everybody else's time for doing it. And just thank staff for everything going out in the community, taking care of weeds and parks and everything else. Police department, for all they do. It looked like they were busy today out on North Kansas. But I was fortunate to not be one of the people they wanted to talk to. Of course, I drive with my seatbelt on and inside the speed limit, so I get that'll work every time, I think. Yeah. That's all I have.
I also want to thank all the staff and Chris and commissioners on the budget. We stayed within our means, and it means a lot to us. And congratulate the people out the airport. I guess we reached 679 for July.
Oh, that's terrific.
And
yeah, that's awesome.
A record, and been averaging 514. So I'd like to see that go to 1,000. So.
Agreed.
Good.
And while you're on that, we will be staying with Tri-West.
Terrific.
It was either Tri-West or dropped to an 8-passenger. It wasn't.
Is it
a whole lot of thought went into that.
Is it a 2 or 3 year
SkyWest.
agreement?
I mean, you mean SkyWest?
SkyWest.
Yeah, SkyWest. Did we sign a 2 or 3 year agreement with them?
I don't know. We ain't signed it yet.
Fantastic.
All right. I didn't know we.
I think it's a yearly deal.
Is it annual?
It's by the year.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember what the last one was. And congratulate Jim Garcia, too. Well-deserved man of our community, so thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Our next item is the vouchers.
Make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $1,237,919.84.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Warren, to approve the vouchers in the amount of $1,237,919.84. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Coming.